What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Endzone. Once again, it's your boy Craig here with my host,
your boy Ace.
Brought to you by Gym Bag Entertainment. It's a show about football by guys who love football. And normally you won't see my socks, but today you see my socks. Hey. So let's jump right into the injury report. A lot of injuries over the week. Edelman goes out of the game with a chest injury after going off. Incredible game. They say it's not serious, so he should be back. Jesse Davis, offensive lineman for the Dolphins. They can't afford to lose nobody. He went out with an arm injury. Darius Slay is a hamstring injury. He's the biggest part of that Detroit Lions defense. Alec Ogletree out with a hamstring.
Ogletree?
Yeah. T.Y. Hilton left the game with a quad injury after going off. I think he made it to the fourth quarter, though. Not so important, but, players are players. Allen Hurns leaves the game with a concussion. Shady McCoy leaves the game with an ankle injury. Mike Daniels left the game with a foot injury. They did an x-ray, said no broken bones, so that's good. Vance McDonald left the game real early with a shoulder injury. No word yet on how serious that is. For the Cleveland Browns, Greedy Williams and Denzel Ward both missed the game with hamstring. They had their whole backfield was gone for that game. So there was a struggle there. Keanu Neal out for the season.
That's big.
That is huge for Atlanta.
But I feel bad for him because last year he tore his ACL too.
Did he really?
He's coming back-to-back season of being out for the year.
Damn. So, yeah, I hate to see that.
Career.
Yep.
Who knows?
Tyler Gabriel leaves the game with a concussion after having a monster night.
Falling out of control.
Out of control. Like I thought it was, for some reason I thought it was going to be Anthony Miller. I thought that the focus would be on Robinson and Gabriel, that Anthony Miller would go off, but no, Tyler Gabriel was just finding ways to be open. And at one point he was even being covered by Josh Norman.
Yeah.
He was killing him.
Quick routes.
Yep. It was dynamic. Cam Newton trying to avoid surgery. So it might be a little bit longer of a rehab for him to be ready to play, but he doesn't want to have surgery. And then the worst and the most impactful injury, Saquon Barkley, high ankle sprain, anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks. What do you think about that?
I think it hurts the Giants due to the simple fact is you had Daniel Jones, who's been playing good ball, but now that Saquon's hurt, that changes the whole dynamic of the game. Daniel Jones was able to get it done last game, winning by 1 point.
And some might say he won by accident, kicker mixed the field goal.
There's no accidents.
Yeah, I feel you.
That's what the NFL is about, game of inches, whether you missed a field goal or whether you didn't get a first down.
He did get them in the position to win if the field goal was missed.
And that was a big 32-31 victory. So in that case, the scenario things, you're going to see how he really going to do because he's not going to have no top receivers. He's not going to have a running back. So it's tough for him.
The combination of not only him and Sterling Shepard, but him and Evan Ingram. We'll get to that later, but it is looking good there, so we'll see what happens. Finally, Michael Crabtree cut by the Arizona Cardinals. Kind of a surprise to me. I thought that they would give him more than one game, but maybe.
Yeah or no, but Crabtree was BSing before he even got there, so they wanted him to play to top. So he didn't meet their standards, so
he got to go. Well, we'll see if he gets signed to any other team. There's a lot of teams that are in need of wide receiver help. Most notably would be the Washington Redskins after last night. So we'll see what happens with that. And with that being said, we have to go to the recap of the week, and I put that to my boy Ace.
All right, so recap of the week. Last night game, you had Chicago Bears versus the Washington Redskins. Chicago Bears won 31-15. Their defense balled out of control. You had the Rams versus the Browns. The Rams beat the Browns 20-13. You had the Houston Texans versus the LA Chargers. Houston Texans won 27-20 in a nice game. You had San Fran 49ers versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. San Fran won 24-20. Jimmy G.
Not only is the 49ers balling, but the Steelers are not. It's crazy.
Then you had the Saints versus Seahawks for the biggest game of the week, probably, which people paid attention to. The Saints end up beating them 33-27 without Drew Brees. That was pretty tough, as we just talked about, which we're going to get into a little bit later. The Giants beat the Buccaneers 32-31. Good job. The Panthers beat the Cardinals 38-20.
Surprise.
Without no Cam, surprisingly.
Yeah, Allen balled.
Yeah. Kansas City beat Baltimore Ravens 33-28.
My favorite game of the day.
Yeah. The Buffalo Bills beat the Bengals 21-17. The Patriots beat the Jets 30-14. The Dallas Cowboys beat the Miami Dolphins 31-6. The Detroit Lions beat the Philadelphia Eagles 27-24. That was one of the surprising ones of the week too. The Green Bay Packers beat the Denver Broncos 27-16. The Colts beat the Falcons 27-24.
That was a huge surprise.
We've been saying Jacoby Brissett. Keep on paying attention to that name. Minnesota Vikings beat down the Oakland Raiders 34-14. And then the Jaguars beat the Titans 20-7.
Gardner Minshew, baby. All right, so our picks last week. Let's go over this real quick and see what we got. I'll go first, and I had five. I went 500 this week. Tennessee versus Jacksonville, I got that wrong. Baltimore versus Kansas City, I got that right. Baltimore lost, but they covered the spread. New England versus the Jets. I want to say I got that right, but I got it wrong because Olszewski can't catch a punt, and for some reason they felt like they needed to put Stidham in to throw a pick six, which took away that shutout and took away my ability to be right here, but we would have both been right, so would have canceled each other out. Cincinnati over Buffalo, I got that one right by the spread. Minnesota versus Oakland. Minnesota covered the spread for me. Huge surprise about ATL versus Indy. Didn't see that one coming. Got that one wrong. But I did get right Dallas versus Miami. I think everybody knew Dallas was going to blow Miami out. Definitely put a little bit too much faith in your boy Kyler Murray, and I got it wrong. Arizona versus Cardinals. Carolina. Tampa Bay versus the Giants. Daniel Jones has shown me something, but he also took away a pick from me. And finally, Chicago versus Washington. Everybody saw this coming. And actually, you know what's funny? I heard this on the radio earlier today. This guy put a bet, 89 cents. 89-cent bet. He had to get something like, he had to get like every game right or something like that. And he got every game right. But he chose, like, it was like one of those, it wasn't every game, it was like the most unlikely wins.
Yeah.
And he got every unlikely win, except he picked Washington over the Bears because that's what he had to do, and they lost. So if he would have won that, he would have got $500,000 off 89 cents.
Wow.
Like crazy. So I got 5 right this week. Tell me about yours.
I got killed this week. Unlike me, I had a bad week.
We all have them.
Sometimes we all have bad weeks. This week was my bad week. I'm sorry to my followers, my fans out there. We'll bounce back next week. Don't worry about it. So starting off for me, I had Baltimore versus KC. I had KC -7. KC ended up winning by 5. That killed me. I had the Pats over the Jets, as Craig mentioned. The Pats was given 22.5. They couldn't cover the spread. I don't care what the excuses is. They didn't cover the spread. So, boom, boom. I had Green Bay over Denver. Green Bay was given -7.5, and they ended up winning 27-16. So that's my one win, one of them. Detroit versus Philly. I took Philly. Philly ended up losing 27-24.
Tough one.
Seattle versus New Orleans. I had Seattle -4. They ended up losing 33-27 outright. San Fran over Tennessee. San Fran won the game, but they lost by the spread. So they won 24-20. Jacksonville, I'm sorry. Atlanta was +2 versus Indy, and Atlanta lost 27-24. Miami versus Dallas. Dallas was minus 21.5. You know Dallas won. And then Carolina versus Arizona. Arizona was +2, and I had Arizona and lost that one. So this week I went 2-10.
2.
2.
It's a rough one right there. I had 5 right though, 500.
So what's that calculation?
So right now you have 12, 14, and then I have 9, 5, 14. Right now we are tied up. We got 14 apiece. We're looking real good right now. So it's playing out. We'll see who takes the victory next week. If we go 500 or if we do better in our picks.
Yeah.
Keep watching. We're only gonna get better as the season progresses. We got to learn who's who and what's what. Lots of surprises in the season. Lots of injuries change the dynamics.
And the tough thing about it is this. Think about it. We picked 30 games so far. And we're both 14 out of 30, but we're doing this so people know we're doing this on a Tuesday when the game ain't until Sunday.
Yeah.
So a lot of dynamics change from Tuesday to Sunday.
Exactly.
So it's like almost like going out on.
We didn't know Cam wasn't gonna be playing when we made our picks.
I called it though.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
you
that's
did.
why I liked it Arizona because of Cam wasn't playing.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't change the dynamics of the game, so it doesn't matter.
It is what it is. Yeah. So we take those L's and we take those W's as they come. Biggest news of the week, I think, is the AB experiment in New England is over. Sad news for us Patriots fans. I blame AB. He had to. All he had to do was keep his mouth shut and keep his phone in his pocket. He couldn't do that, and now he has been cut. And the Patriots win without him. But now AB, not only is he saying he's done with the NFL, he's threatening to sue the Patriots for his guaranteed money. This dude is crazy. He is a psychopath, and even though I love him, he doesn't know what he's doing. And I wasn't mad at him until he did this. He done dry snitched on Robert Kraft. He was dry snitching on Robert Kraft, bringing up the old incident of him getting caught in the.
Hey, what about he tried to snitch on my guy Shannon Sharp too?
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Did he dry snitching on Shannon Sharp too? Oh God, AB man, you from the hood, nigga? No dry snitching.
Hey, yo, he tried to tell on everybody.
Yo, he's turning Tekashi 6ix9ine up in this bitch. He's like, he did it. You gotta just take your L's where they come, Matter of fact, if you'd have kept your mouth shut and you'd have played football like you were supposed to do, this would not be a worry for you. But you had to run your mouth. You had to. You let your pride get in the way, and you got your ass smacked for it. And that's the bottom line. So I do hope you play in the NFL. I'd like to see him go on, be on the team, and do what he's supposed to do. But we don't know what's gonna happen. What do you think?
You hit it right on the head. I think his career may be over and the Patriots was his last leg, was to either build his legacy even more or his legacy will be over with.
Yeah.
He chose the plan B of the situation. Anytime when in doubt, when you're in a situation like that, it's like, you got to leave that girl alone. I don't know how heavily you was in love with her.
No, it wasn't even that girl. He texted the girl who made the painting.
Yeah, but still, whatever, however.
Yeah.
It's like, you're doing things out of character, out of
the pocket.
And like I always say to you, sometimes it takes a real friend to be in your circle and be like, hey, bro. Mm-hmm. I'm always gonna be with you, but what you doing right now, you wilding. You like doing the most. Like, you gotta calm down. You gotta take like 2-3 steps back. And it's unfortunate he ain't got nobody that's really telling him that.
Nope. He got yes men. He got yes men.
In a couple of different situations, whereas you got to build yourself around people who, don't matter if you got $1 million or $1, that's going to be there and protect you. But if anybody has true friend and he would have told them like, hey, I'm about to text this girl that I got a damn near open case with, no. Give me your phone. No.
Yep.
Especially from your phone, your own personal phone, that she already had the number and all this, that, like, if the Patriots can't help you, nobody can. And I think it got to the point where the Patriots didn't want to release him, but after he went and sent that text out, it's like,
no choice.
Now we can't even protect you, so we have no choice but to release you. And just the same thing what Oakland did about the whole lawsuit situation. they released him before he can get paid. Am I correct?
Yeah,
on that?
they released him before he could get paid.
He had to play like a game or two or something like that.
Well, what happened was once he was fined, the guaranteed money was no longer guaranteed. Like, because of him missing practice and all that stuff, like all that stuff that was going on, he took away the he broke his contract by doing what he was doing, and so that allowed them to be able to release him without having to pay him his money.
So what about the situation for the Pats now?
With the Patriots, so I'm not exactly sure how it worked out, but I think that he violated his they have a code of conduct in his contract, and I think what he did with this woman, contacting this woman and basically technically threatening a victim, witness tampering, that violates the code of conduct. I'm not 100% sure if they're supposedly have to pay him. But Robert Kraft said after he made that statement, and he put Robert Kraft on blast. Yeah. Robert Kraft said, "I don't care what they say. I don't care what the union says. I don't care how it works out. I will not write that check." He said, "I will not write a check for you, no matter what happens." Robert Kraft is gonna ride this one to the grave. He'll ride it through litigation and let it go as long as it's gonna go, and we'll see what happens. But like you said, he's doing too much. Yeah. He gotta chill, and I guess he's enrolled in some online courses, and he's doing some other things. So he might be done.
I knew he was. You want me to tell you the day that I knew he was done in the NFL was just the other day. I was at work, and I got my alert that said that Nike dropped his endorsement. And then once Nike dropped him, I think it was like a couple hours later is when the Patriots released him. Mm-hmm. So I'm like,
all on the same day.
And the only thing I can say to myself is like, oh man, this dude's career is going down the drain right in front of his eyes, and he don't even get it.
Nope. He's one of those people who do this but never do this.
Yeah. So what's going to happen with him is that all the endorsements that he had, he's going to get dropped by them little by little. People's not messing with him right now.
Nope. Everybody's done with AB.
The helmet company dropped him.
He's the outbreak monkey.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens in the future, and we will keep you updated on any AB news as it comes up. The next thing I want to talk about is Daniel Jones and his first start in the NFL versus Tampa Bay. And I got to say, even though he didn't look perfect, he looked real good.
He looked real good. He went 23 for 36, 336 yards and 2 TDs. He had 4 rushing attempts for 28 yards and 2 TDs. And he was sacked a few times in that game, 3-4 times.
Behind that offensive line is expected.
And then he had a nice little Ingram had a nice little play for a 75-yard touchdown.
That down the sideline.
Yeah, down the sideline.
The combination of him and Ingram, and now him and Sterling Shepard. Yeah. That's I think I'm gonna say this. We talked a lot of trash. We never said when the draft happened that Daniel Jones wouldn't be good. We definitely said that they overreached. We wanted that. We thought that they should go after Daniel Jones, but he's looking real good. He's making this team look like an offensive threat. Now, the unfortunate side of this is that Saquon's gone, and I don't know what Gallman's capable of.
I like Gallman. He's a Clemson guy.
Yeah, he's a Clemson guy.
Yeah.
So that at least brings you some semblance of relief. If he's a Clemson guy, it means he can run the ball well. Do they go after another running back? Do they try to bring someone in?
They can and they don't have to, because it's like Gallman's been there. He's back there.
You always need a backup though the backup. And they got rid of Paul Perkins, so maybe Jay Ajayi gets the call. I don't know, but I think they do need to address the backup issue. But I thought Daniel Jones was looking really good. He's a very athletic guy. He was, like you said, he made it happen with his feet. He was passing through the air. I was very much impressed with his ability to rally in this game and keep the game tight. And like you said,
he was real poised in that game.
Yeah,
too.
he was real poised, and he got the ball and scored on his final drive. And the defense helped prevent the Tampa Bay. I mean, Tampa Bay did. I mean, I want to just say, because we're talking about Daniel Jones, Jameis Winston was really impressive.
Yeah, he did have a good game.
He had a real good game. Tampa Bay, all in all, I think Tampa Bay played their best football. They played to the competition. They did really well, and in the end, the kicker didn't get it done. Kickers can be everything. They can either make or break your team, and this kicker cost them a victory and allowed Daniel Jones to get his first start victory of the season. And I can't wait to see what I hate the Giants, but I can't wait to see what this kid does with his opportunity.
Not bad.
All right. One of the hugest shocks for the first 3 weeks of the NFL that I don't think anybody would have believed if you told them this would happen. The Bills, the Buffalo Bills are 3-0. I'm shocked. I cannot believe it, and I'd like to hear what you think.
Well, that team is averaging 22 points a game. The additional 391.3 yards per game, with 240 passing and 151 rushing. So they're a balanced team for sure. They played some tough games too. Their first game versus the Jets was a tough game.
Yeah. Down 16 unanswered points.
16 unanswered points,
went
down 16.
Yeah.
So that was a good one. They killed Eli Manning and ended his career. That was a career-ending game for them. And then they went on to beat Cincinnati this week, 21-7.
Tough back at they were winning. Cincinnati comes back, and then they come in and they put the nail in the coffin.
That score 21-7 doesn't say what that game was, because that was just an all-out dogfight, that game.
It was
until the end. That's when it got a little out of whack.
Cincinnati was on their way back.
Yeah.
And then Andy Dalton blew it at the end, but that was you said it perfectly. It was a dogfight of a game, and Josh Allen is he's playing good ball.
But they got a big test this week. So.
Oh yeah. 3-0 versus 3-0 divisional matchup, New England Patriots versus the Buffalo Bills. I cannot wait to see this game, because this is going to be a defensive matchup. The Buffalo Bills defense has been playing really well.
Yep.
They started off really bad in the first half of their first game, but then showed that they do have a strong defense. Then they repeated it again with the Giants, and then repeated it again against Cincinnati. This is a tough defense. I think it's going to be a true test of both teams. And one team is coming out 4-0. The other team coming out 3-1. And I think we all know what that team is going to be. So, impressive start for the Bills. I mean, they got a lot of young guys on that team, a lot of new guys on that team, and everybody is doing their job. So even though I don't like to say it, congratulations to the Buffalo Bills for being one of the few teams that are starting undefeated.
Yes, sir.
Guy, I've been dying to talk about all week. Gardner Minshew balls out with that starting role. This rookie comes in not thinking he's going to play a single solitary snap in regular season, but he plays every snap in preseason. He plays all the snaps, he gets all the reps with all the guys, and then Nick Foles goes down after throwing his first and only touchdown. And Gardner Minshew comes in and just does his thing. And 20 for 30, 204 yards, 2 TDs in this game, and it should have been 3 TDs and 300 yards. But this was drop pass central. What do you think about that game? What do you think about Gardner Minshew?
Well, I like how he's performing. For a guy coming from Washington State, I really do, because I'm the type of person where I love underdogs always. I love underdogs, and I love underdogs who actually is going to go out there and give you their all and have fun. And you could tell he's out there playing football, having fun. He came in that KC game, like you mentioned, when the starter gets hurt. They end up losing that game 40-26. Not bad. Then that next week, they play versus a tough Houston team. They lost again, 13-12. And then it's like they play versus Tennessee, beat Tennessee 20-7. So he's doing well, but you know how fans is fans. And you know they're going to wait for him to have his downfall. So they can sit here and be like, I already told you he wasn't good and this and this and that. His downfall could start this week coming. He got to play versus Denver, then Carolina, then the Saints, Cincinnati, then the Jets, and then Houston. So
he has a very up-down schedule ahead of him. Some real challenges, some games that he should win.
Some games he's not going to win.
Yeah.
But the trick is to see how he bounced back in between. Because there's going to be a lot of in-betweens where you're going to play a tough team and then you're going to play versus whatever. You can't call them scrubs because it's still the NFL, so everybody's good. So I would say, depending on his rest and stuff like that, like, I want to see if he really got it and and his mental toughness. I want to see if he could be mentally tough through all of this and keep performing at a high level as he is.
You know what I see when I see Gardner Minshew? A man with nothing to lose. He did not think he'd be playing. He was a rookie. He didn't think he would ever start for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he probably wasn't sure if he'd ever even start in the NFL. And then he gets handed the ball, and he's like, okay then. I don't see a guy who's nervous. I don't see a guy who's afraid. Like I said, he had a 22-yard touchdown to D.D. Westbrook, who's supposed to be the number one guy, and it was a dime dropped right into his hands, dropped in the end zone. So Gardner Minshew is doing his thing and looking extremely impressive. I feel like it's the wide receivers that need to get in line on this team and stop dropping passes, because this dude, I feel like this dude, I don't know if he's gonna get him to the playoffs. But he could make a case for that wild card position for them, and I don't know. And he's funny. Did you see the suit?
They got him to be he just bumped up to number 3 of offensive rookie of the year or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
For right now.
Yeah, for right now. But that's saying something, and I don't think that's a far cry right there to say number 3. I'm liking this kid. He's having fun. He's playing for the love of football, and in my opinion, is doing better than could have been expected of him.
Absolutely.
So we'll see what happens in the future, but I am excited for Gardner.
Keep up
Minshew.
the good work, Gardner.
All right, and now we need to talk about these Browns, baby, because they lose again, 1-2 for a team that was talking about Super Bowl, best team in the NFL, most dynamic offense there is in the NFL, and they're looking like the Cleveland Browns. They're just looking like the Cleveland Browns. Is Baker Mayfield overrated?
How about this? I'm going to say that whole Browns team is overrated.
Oh.
I like them because you know that I like them.
We both like them.
But I didn't love them. You loved them.
I loved them. I loved them.
I think the Browns right now, like they're losing their first game, I could say and be like, all right, let's see how they bounce back, you know. See how the locker room is and stuff like that. But you got to go on a little streak, because other than that, you keep on lose 2 games, win 1 game, lose 2 games. Now you still the old Browns to us. You get choose together like a little 4 or 5 game winning streak. Yeah.
You're worse because you have a high-level offense and a lot of talent on defense. A lot of talent on defense.
But we're not going to sit here and use excuses and say, hey, the secondary was all banged up. Who cares?
Who cares?
It's still the NFL. You still need people to step up, and I don't use excuses. So, therefore, it's like I just didn't like the fact of, like, watching that game and seeing, like, again, how selfish their whole team is playing, and that's why they can't win games, because of selfishness.
Yeah.
Like,
and one thing that I've had a problem with, they even said it, is Baker Mayfield's inability to get the ball off. Like, now I understand.
But he keeps on pumping too much.
Yeah.
He's like, Every
Throw the
time
ball.
you just gotta let it go.
Sling it.
Yeah.
And then the other problem is you got a game tying situation.
Yeah.
You've got the ball downfield. And you threw a blatant, in my opinion, as far as football goes, like some people might see it and say it was close. No, that was a blatant interception you threw. That shit was off the wide receiver and put in position for the defender to catch. When you're in a situation like that, goal to go, game-winning situation, you need to put the ball where only your receiver can get it. And I don't believe he's been doing that at all, even when the game's not on the line. I mean, I feel like Odell Beckham is doing his job to get open. And I think Baker Mayfield's not getting the ball in his hands. I will say Jarvis Landry has been doing really good, putting himself in position. But I don't know. And I have to say, I agree with you. You can't say anything about this defense. Your offense should do enough that your defense doesn't have to work that hard. And yeah, you went up against one of the best teams in the NFL in the Rams. But what about when you got dominated by Tennessee? Like, where was your defense then when it was all put together? This team has been we're only talking about 3 games, but it's been extreme disappointment.
They got to turn it around. They definitely do. They got to find out as a team, not as outside people or anything like that, but as a team, they got to find out what they're playing for. At first, we thought they was playing for a Super Bowl, but the way their attitudes is and the way they carry themselves, they're not even playing for playoffs right now. Nope. So until they get that stuff together in the locker room as men, it could be a long year for them.
Long year. Yeah. In a hard road, and that right now they must be in the locker room eating like a ton of humble pie right now, because you guys talked a lot of junk and you're not living up to it.
And sidebar though is one of the things I told you too is people got film on Baker Mayfield now. So you see it ain't as easy as it was last year, just coming in as a second string and slinging the ball left, right, up and down the field. Now people saw your abilities and what you can do. And
what your tendencies are.
So now teams is pressuring you from opposite side just to keep you to hold the ball. Like they're pressuring him from his blind side to keep him to hold the ball more. Yeah. And that's what he's doing, and he's playing into what the team's
And that offensive line does not have the ability to hold off the rush for as long as he needs to throw that ball. Yeah. It needs to be, I feel like they're getting away, like they got to play the short game rather than the long game. Like, get the ball out fast, get these defenses running around, and get the ball out 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds. Get that ball out really fast, get the defense on their heels, and then you go for the long shot. I feel like they're just trying, like they're looking for those highlight reel big plays, and they're not getting it done. So I hope to see better from this team, because I had a lot of faith in them, high hopes, but we'll see what happens in the future. Now on to the picks of the week. And I leave it to you, my friend. I'll let you start it off.
You want me to go first?
I'm going to let you go first.
Just read it through?
Yep.
Okay, so my first game, Kansas City Chiefs is -6 to the Detroit Lions. I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs right there. Houston Texans is playing versus the Carolina Panthers. Houston Texans -4. I'm going with Houston Texans. New England Patriots is -7 versus the Bills, and I'm going New England Patriots. The Los Angeles Rams is playing the Tampa Bay Bucks. The Los Angeles Rams is -10, and I'm going with the Rams. Minnesota Vikings is playing versus the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears is -2.5 points. I'm going Minnesota Vikings, underdog. Seattle is -5 versus Arizona, and I got to go to Seattle. I'm sorry, Kyler.
Oh no!
Sorry.
Woo!
The New York Giants is playing versus the Washington Redskins. And New York Giants is -3, and I like them this week.
Okay.
The Indianapolis Colts is playing versus the Oakland Raiders. The Colts is -6.5. I like the Colts that game. Wow, Dallas Cowboys is -2.5 versus the Saints. And the Saints don't have no Drew Brees, and Cowboys is playing well, so I like the Cowboys right there. Tennessee Titans versus the Atlanta Falcons. Both teams struggling, and this is a struggle bowl. But I do like the Atlanta Falcons at home, so I'm going to go with them -4 to the Titans.
Wow. Just so you know, this is going to be another week where we're probably going to tie up because I have 7 of the exact same picks as you. First game for me is the Eagles versus Green Bay. Green Bay is -5. I am going to go with the Eagles. Oh, yeah. I'm going
Looks
big.
like I won this week. We have the same
I'm
team.
swinging for the fences. I think this is going to be a close game. And because I think Green Bay wins, but I think Green Bay wins probably by 3.
Cousin Wood, I'm with you, baby. Green Bay this week.
Green Bay wins.
Ride 'em.
Green Bay wins, but they don't cover the spread. I'm sorry. They're not covering the spread. And Green Bay is my second favorite team, so you know I did not want to say that. Houston versus Carolina. Carolina is getting +4. I'm going with Houston. The Chargers versus Miami. Miami's getting 16.5. I'm going with the Chargers.
Ooh, I like Miami right there.
Really? No way.
Spread.
New England versus Buffalo. Buffalo's getting 7. I'm going with No, I'm just joking. I'm going with New England. You know New England's always going to be my pick. Atlanta against Tennessee. Tennessee getting 4 points. I still like Atlanta. The Giants going up against Washington. Washington gets 3. I think Daniel Jones is on a hot streak, and he's going to ride this one right over Washington's back. Kansas City against Detroit. Detroit's getting 6 points, which will never be enough to beat Kansas City. I think Kansas City is going to go ham. Minnesota versus Chicago. Chicago's -2.5, and that is too many points. I think Minnesota takes this game. Jacksonville versus Denver. Denver's -3, and Gardner Minshew is my boy, and I think that they're going to take this game. And then finally, Dallas versus New Orleans. New Orleans is getting +2, but like you said, there is no Drew Brees, therefore they cannot win this game. Dallas Cowboys in effect.
Ooh-wee.
Oh man, it's gonna be a tough one. All right, now we need to go to our top 5 games of the week. And you know what I did? I felt like we were gonna have a lot of the same picks, so I did 10.
How do you feel?
I feel like we're gonna have a lot of the same picks, so I did 10. And every time you pick a team that I pick, I'm gonna cross that one off so I don't say it. I'm gonna go first though.
You got 10.
No, I'm only gonna do 5. I'm only gonna do 5.
All right, but you say you're going to cross off one.
The ones that you pick.
All right, so let me pick first so that you could cross
No, because I'm going to say the one that I don't want you to say because I want to say it.
Oh, my God.
You ain't going to say it. You ain't going to say it. Patriots versus the Bills.
I had that.
Oh, well,
No,
I'm
that's
sorry.
all right.
I steal from you. All right, but you got to let me say, you always got to let me say Patriots versus the Bills. Oh, well, Patriots versus whoever. Patriots versus the Bills, both 3-0, divisional matchup. We know the Patriots are going to win, but this should be a slobber knocker. Boom. What do you got?
The Minnesota Vikings versus the Bears. Short week for the Bears. They're playing Sunday 4:25. Both of them got good D, but Chicago just needs to score the ball, and that's bottom line. Watching them last night. Was it last night they played? Yeah. Did they play last night?
Yeah, they played last night.
Yeah, so watching them.
For them, it was 2 nights ago, but for us, it was last night.
Yeah, so watching them, it's like, it's tough to watch due to the simple fact is what Trubinsky does out there is just horrible.
Horrendous. He's a terrible quarterback. He is not the quarterback that he was last year.
You know what question I got?
Yeah, go ahead.
Like someone asked me, if you move the top 5 quarterbacks, as in Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers,
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, Mahomes is on there, and there was one other player.
Who would be that 5? Who would be that 5 guy?
Oh, Phillip Rivers.
Okay, I like that. Yep.
You move any of those guys to the Bears with the Bears same exact team, but just change the quarterback. How far does the Bears go? I said they're in the championship for sure.
Oh yeah, I think that you can even lower the bar a little bit and give that to say a Lamar Jackson or who would be.
But they wouldn't be a Lamar Jackson wouldn't be a Super Bowl.
Not Super Bowl,
team.
but playoff.
I'm just saying, like
the
elite
those guys
quarterbacks in
would
the
bring them
league,
to the Super Bowl.
they can bring them to the Super Bowl with that defense that they already have.
Yeah.
The positions that they put their offense in.
Yeah, I agree.
The turnovers that they make, they can change the game and all that.
Carson Wentz could take that team.
Yeah,
to the Super
it
Bowl.
wasn't just too deep. It was just a couple guys.
Yeah, just a couple
like,
guys. Yeah.
So basically, if these guys was at, my cousin asked me like these guys was at quarterback for Chicago,
it would be over.
Like it would be over with. And
With that defense, it would be over because here's what my thinking of that. That's a great question. My thinking of that is like, you're gonna have an offense. Let's just go middle of the road, and we'll say Aaron Rodgers. You give that team to Aaron Rodgers. Not only is he gonna score, but now that defense is gonna come out and they're gonna shut down that offense so quickly that the offense, they get to come back. Yeah, you're gonna get. There you go. Thank you for saying extra possessions for Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers is always gonna make quick work of extra possessions. So. And that's what Trubisky's not doing. He's not taking advantage of the extra possessions. I'm glad you brought that topic up.
Yeah.
Because even though they won this game and they dominated, it should have been worse.
It was from a defense standpoint, they dominated.
They did.
The
only reason why they win the game is because of the defense.
Mac was going crazy.
Oh my God. Like there was nobody in front of him. Yeah. And Ha Clinton Dix. Like what? 3 picks?
Yeah.
And one of them 4 pick six. One of them almost another pick six, and then another interception. I mean, this defense is terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. I'm gonna let you go round 2.
Oh, you want me to go back to back?
Go back to back. Yeah.
Oh, so my next up, I got the Browns versus the Ravens.
You know what? I had a feeling you picked that one, but I'm surprised that you picked that one because we're hating on the Browns right now.
I'm not really hating on the Browns. I'm just speaking realistic football talk. And that's what I try to bring is the realistic football talk because it's like in that game you got 2 teams that's like scrambling right now for a win. The Ravens, they came out on fire, put up 60 points on the team, and then the next game they come back and lose. Right?
Who did they lose to? I know they just lost to Kansas City, but did they lose that?
Oh, no, the next game they came back and won. Yeah. So they was 2-0.
2-0.
And then they played versus Kansas City and have everybody believing that they was going to beat Kansas City and lost to Kansas City.
I was a believer. Lamar Jackson, I believed in you.
And then you have the Browns who everybody's, is finally realizing that they're a little bit overrated than what the world expected. Not just Craig, everybody, so I'm not just going to put the pressure on Craig. So
thank you. I appreciate that.
This game right here, I have it as my game of the week personally because it's, like I said, it's 2 teams scrambling for a win. But I think the win means a lot more to the Browns than to the Ravens because the Ravens is kind of like a team that came out the woodworks. That's kind of like on a little bit of a high horse. And the Browns is a team that everybody expected to do well and they're not doing well. So when those 2 things clash, I think it's more important for the Browns to win this game than the Ravens to win this game.
Amen. I agree with you 100%. All right, I hope I'm not stealing this one from you, but I had to say it because Saints versus the Cowboys. I'm loving this matchup. I want to see what Teddy Bridgewater does against a dynamic offense. I want to see if he plays up to his competition or if he allows his inexperience or his lack of play, because, he has experience, his lack of play to take over and lose this game for him. He has the offense to make it work. He has one of the most, if not the best running back in the NFL in Alvin Kamara, one of the best wide receivers in Michael Thomas, and he has a great tight end with Jared Cook. But the Dallas Cowboys, they are balling out. They are smashing it out, 3-0, they're looking dynamic. I think this game this game brings out the competitor in Teddy Bridgewater.
And I have this game written down too. Okay. So I'll elaborate on how I feel too. So
absolutely.
And I totally agree with you. Like, if there was a Drew Brees in this game, then I lean more towards the Saints. But a Saints team with no Drew Brees, I gotta land over to a Dallas team who's playing really well this year. I like the intensity that Dallas is bringing to the table. They're all playing hardball, from Cooper to Dak to what's his name here? Elliott.
Oh, Elliott. Yeah.
Yeah, so they all playing. I'm sorry, they all playing real good ball right now. And the thing about it is, last week Teddy Bridgewater beat a Seattle team 33-27, which was a great game.
It was a great game.
It was a lot of back and forth. Anytime you beat a guy named Russell Wilson is always good because he's going to play his heart out to the last minute all the time. So
and it wasn't like Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson had 2 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
he's playing good ball.
it was definitely a signature win for the Saints because, like we said, we asked, what was our question? And this is, I remember. No, I got you. I'm gonna tell you. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna tell you.
Okay.
A Saints team without Drew Brees making the playoffs, or a Pittsburgh team without no Big Ben making the playoffs. And you said a Pittsburgh team without no Big Ben.
I did say that.
And I'm telling, and that's what I'm telling you. New Orleans keep on scraping these little couple wins. They turn into a playoff team when Drew Brees gets back, which they will be. And it's going to be scary because you're going to have to play them in the first round wild card.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's going to scare people.
Yeah.
And they're going to go out there and they're going to win 2 or 3 games as a wild card team.
Teddy Bridgewater just has to go 500.
That's it.
That's all he has
and
to
he's
do.
capable of doing that with that team. But this week versus the Cowboys, don't expect for him to go out there and do crazy because Cowboys is playing top of their game. Saints is playing top of their game. So even if he does lose this game, you can't sit here and say, hey, Teddy Bridgewater sucks now because he can't beat the Cowboys. Well, guess what, buddy? Cowboys is 4-0 playing great football right now.
Yeah.
Blowing out a lot of teams. So if he lost to them, 3 other teams lost to him before him.
Exactly.
So let's see what he does.
Let's
see how So let's see how he bounced back the previous week.
2 good teams.
Yeah.
Miami's not a good team.
And that's what it comes down to. Like, let's see what he does the next week to bounce back, and then it makes it more exciting.
All right. What do you got next?
Next I got the Giants versus the Redskins.
Wow, that was a surprise. Okay.
Yeah. Redskins. Redskins, it's tough right now because the Redskins is getting all they can.
Yeah.
They were trying to get rid of the coach. 0-3 now, right? Correct?
Yep. 0-3.
0-3, trying to get rid of the coach. As in the Giants just got rid of their quarterback and they got a little flow, got a little swagger with them, new quarterback.
Yep.
But then, boom, your man gets hurt. Barkley, your starting running back, But my thing is this. I wrote this game down here because I think it's going to be a good battle.
It's a divisional matchup.
But I think that the Giants is going to get this. But I think we might see your boy come in this game for the Redskins.
Haskins. You think Haskins comes in?
I think he may.
Well, I mean, Keenum did make a huge mistake. He was playing like he was at the goal line. He's playing like he's going at the goal line.
Mistakes with an S. And then, not to jump to next week, because that's what we got next week's show for, but if the Giants do win that game, I want to see how your boy follows up with them playing Minnesota that next week.
So
you get what I'm saying? So you can potentially play Minnesota at like 2-2 or whatever your record would be, and see if the hype around you is really that real. Because I'm all for hype. Yeah. I'm all for underdogs, but I'm all for how you do versus the heavy hitters.
The heavy hitters, yeah. It's not about winning; it's about showing what you're capable of.
Exactly.
All right. For me, I have a game, and I think, but what I'm going to say might be unexpected. But I got the Rams versus the Bucks.
Okay.
And I think that this is going to be a back and forth game. I do not think the Rams blow out the Bucks. I do think the Rams beat the Bucks. I do not think they blow out the Bucks. I think the Bucks are on a high. Even though they lost, they had a dynamic game this past week against the Giants, and I think they're going to build on that. Mike Evans is looking great. O.J. Howard got plugged into the game. Their run game is just starting. Ronald Jones is starting to catch on. Jameis Winston is playing good ball. I don't even think he threw a pick against the Giants.
He's been playing well.
So he's playing getting better with every passing game, and I think that the Bucks put the Rams on their heels in this game, and I think the Rams will have to score to win.
Got you. I like that. And Rams do score, so
yeah, they do score.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a game where they have to score to win.
Last but not least,
okay,
I got Tennessee versus Atlanta.
Oh wow, I didn't put that game on.
I put it down because Tennessee came out, surprised us with the Cleveland game.
Yeah.
That was the first game, right? Yeah, week 1.
Yeah, Tennessee, Cleveland, yeah.
So Tennessee, Cleveland played week 1. And Tennessee went out there and did a hell of a job offensive-wise, defensive-wise, controlling the game. They won all phases of football. But then soon after, you fall apart. And now you're going down south. Now you're crumbling. Now you're going back to that same team, that same Tennessee team that everybody thought you was or believe you are. What the Atlanta Falcons is, I've been around the Falcons for years now because I lived in Atlanta. So what the Falcons is they always start off slow. Falcons always have the team. They always got a team on paper to beat, but they end up not producing to what they should be. That's a typical Falcons. But the reason why I picked this game because both teams are struggling to win.
Yeah.
I need to see something out of somebody in this game. Even like Julio. Julio's actually finishing plays this year.
Oh man.
Scoring touchdowns.
Yeah.
What's up with you, man, Ryan? Do you need to go? Because all the other quarterbacks been gone. So are you up next to be gone?
I'm saying.
Is it
after
you?
That big contract.
Yeah. Is it you? Is it what is it? What's really going on? Is to the point that I'm at with this team because you have a good team, but you're not doing anything, nothing.
Nope.
Zippo, and it's embarrassing to watch because I watch Atlanta like. Those are one of the teams I really do like because I lived out there and I used to tailgate and watch games and stuff like that. So it's like I've been around the fans, I've been around the history, I saw how they do, and it's embarrassing because it's like you have the players. So what's really going on? If you look at an Atlanta team, what are they really missing?
I don't.
It's tough to say.
It's really tough to say because I mean their run game got off this past week, so it was pretty good. Julio Jones was great. Austin Hooper was good. The
Calvin really been playing well.
Calvin really was playing well. He didn't get a lot of touches this past week.
Sanu's been playing well.
Sanu's playing great.
So you got that's your offense.
Your whole thing is coming together. And is it the defense? Is the defense just not as good as it was the year that they made it to the Super Bowl? I don't know. But there's some problems.
The defense ain't out there getting torched. You know, the normal Atlanta teams is they used to say if I'm Atlanta, I scored 30, you got to score 31, you win. Yeah. Because they knew the defense wasn't doing nothing. But this year, the games haven't even been crazy high scoring like that. Maybe had like one high scoring game with Atlanta. So it's been kind of like tough game. So I just don't know. Every time watching them, I just don't know what are they missing in order to make them like an all-around great team.
I think
it's just
what
tough.
it really is that I don't think they have the right offensive coordinator.
Okay.
When they got rid of Kyle Shanahan, I think that was the end. You know, with Kyle Shanahan, they made it to the Super Bowl. They lose Kyle Shanahan, and now they won. They don't make it to the playoffs last year. They're struggling this year. I definitely think it's a huge coaching problem, especially on offense, but maybe even on defense. I don't know who their defensive coordinator is, but I think there's I think there's a serious coaching problem over there. But we'll see what happens. Maybe they turn it around. For me, I had to pick. I had to go with Eagles and Packers. I told you Packers are my second favorite team. I think this is going to be a great game. I think the Packers win. I do think it comes down to whoever has the ball last. I don't think the Packers cover the spread, but I think this will be a gritty fight.
Where's it at? Is it in Lambeau?
I don't know. I didn't even look at that.
Oh.
You might have to check that out. While you're checking that out, I do want to also say I think another good game is going to be Bengals versus the Steelers. I think you have two teams that are not playing as well as everybody thought they would play this year, and I think both teams, same as you said earlier, struggling for a win. Both these teams need a win desperately.
In Lambeau, that's tough.
It is in Lambeau.
Yeah,
it's going to be a tough matchup for the Eagles. But I think they answer the call. I think they answer the call. But yeah, Bengals and Steelers. I think that this is, and I think this is almost a mirrored matchup. You got Joe Mixon against James Conner. You got Andy Dalton versus Mason Rudolph. You have Tyler Boyd versus Juju Smith. And I think that both have an offensive line that isn't doing what it's supposed to be doing right now. So I think this matchup right here is going to be back and forth. I think it's going to be one of the best games of the week because I think it's going to be a lot of offense and not a lot of defense.
And the Steelers still haven't did anything to wow me yet, so I'm not.
Nothing. No wows.
Yeah.
There's no wows.
I really
Have they won a game?
No.
They're-
Well, did they win last week?
No. Mason Rudolph didn't win. Who'd they play?
Nope, they lost to the 49ers.
Yeah, for the 49ers. They had to have won the week before that then. I don't even know who they played. Are they 1-2? Or they can't be 0-3. There's no way the Steelers are 0-3 right
They
now.
lost to the Seahawks.
So they're
lost to
0-3?
the Pats. Yeah, 0-3.
Oh my God. Steelers are 0-3 to begin the season and the Buffalo Bills are 3-0?
Yeah.
What world are we living in right now? This is craziness. And the Bengals, I think, are the Bengals 0-3?
No, the Bengals got one win.
Because they lost to the Bills. I thought they lost to Atlanta.
They lost to the 49ers.
Yep.
41-17.
What about week 1?
They lost to the Seahawks.
So they're 0-3. So you got two teams 0-3 going up against each other. Both teams looking for their first win. Call it out.
The Bills, too.
Who wins? Steelers, Bengals. Who's going to get their first victory?
Steelers, Bengals. Where's the game at again?
I don't even know. I didn't even look. I'm slacking.
In Pittsburgh. I like Pittsburgh there.
You like Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
In Pittsburgh. It's tough because it's a bum game. So when it's a bum game like that, I'd rather go with the home team.
you know what? I think the difference maker is, we say I gave you all the individual matchups. The difference maker is, yeah, they got Tyler Boyd, but they also got John Ross, who's coming into his own.
Yeah.
After Juju,
There's no shoe.
there's no shoe. And Vance McDonald has got a shoulder injury. Is he going to be ready to play? If he's ready to play, they got the better tight end on the Steelers. But if he ain't ready to play, it's looking real ugly.
Look ugly in here.
We have 2 minutes left. I just want to say real quickly, one of the worst no calls in NFL history, the worst no call of the season. Miles Sanders gets the worst face mask to the point where his head gets turned around and helmet ripped off.
It was ugly. It was like this. If this helmet was on, it was like back here.
All the way back, then off,
Then yank.
and his head was up here
his head was
and
like-
slings back like a
Yeah.
slingshot. That was just, you can kill a man like that.
Yeah, it was.
You can kill a man that way.
That should have been a 15-yard penalty and an ejection. Ejection.
Exactly. It should be an ejection. I was really disappointed with the coaching. I mean, with the refereeing in that particular game. That was terrible. And I mean,
You know what I thought?
Yeah.
Not to cut you off, I just
Go
thought
ahead.
in my head like, Craig is sitting there somewhere saying, "Find the refs."
I said it. I did say it. I was like, yo, I've been saying you got to stop finding these refs. Because here's the thing. Can I say that real quick? If I'm Miles Sanders,
Yeah.
I'm running with the ball, right? Where's the ref's eyes? At where the ball is. Who's got the ball? That's where the refs are looking at. Who has the ball? And then his head does this. And the helmet comes off. And you ain't throwing no flag? Fined. You fined. Matter of fact, suspended. You are suspended. So I was pretty upset about that. We wanted to maybe talk about Jay Gruden, but we might have to save that for next week.
If he's still in the league.
Yeah, tune in next week to find out if Jay Gruden is still in the league. And if he is, we'll be talking about how much longer he has left. With that being said, check out Jim Bag Entertainment on YouTube. Watch all of our shows week to week. We'll be here next week to give you some more information, and we'll always be here for the football. And once again, it's your boy Craig.
Your boy Ace.
We'll see you in the end zone. Have a good night.